This video is about Micah and Joe on the Morning Joe show in MSNBC. Prepare yourself. It's going to be a little rough, but we can get through this together. I actually saw Joe behind the fence around the Capitol only a couple days after January 6th. I didn't wave to him, but we both looked at each other and he walked away ignoring me, which didn't surprise me. Must have been the cowboy hat, right? Don't worry, this isn't going to go for a long clip, but I do suggest you take a deep breath, get a cup of coffee, sit down and relax, because I had to do some monologuing, if you know what I mean, because I had to respond to the stuff that he was doing. It was, it's putting the hair up on the back of my neck when you listen to them talk about President Trump. So here we go. Let's listen to the wisdom of Joe and Micah.
Caddy, I wanted to go back to you and let's look at that poll again showing that the overwhelming majority of Americans say they will not vote for Donald Trump if he is convicted. It suggests that everybody being John Madden basically and being predictors of what's going on don't know what they're talking about. Right now in this Ipsos Reuters poll, again, 58% of Americans say they won't vote for Donald Trump.
So 50% or 58% will not vote for President Trump? Really? Really? I think his numbers are probably wrong, don't you? And 55% of independent voters will not vote for him if he's convicted? Really?
Trump if he's convicted of a felony. And I think the most important number there, at least for me, what I'm looking at is 55% of independents say they will not vote for Donald Trump if he's a convicted felon. Only 14 independents saying yes.
Yeah, and actually, even if you look at the entrance polls in Iowa, it's kind of reflective of this too, right? Because 30% of people who've caucused on Monday night in Iowa also said they wouldn't vote for Trump if he's convicted, which, I mean, we just have to look at the legal timetable. Will Jack Smith manage to get his trial date in March? Will it be pushed back a little bit? Will the whole thing be wrapped up and potentially have a conviction by November?
You can see that they're hoping and praying that in November they can get a conviction before the vote. They're just feeling very desperate about him right now, and they're trying to do everything they can to stop the American people from voting for him.
And then come November, what impact will that actually make? Donald Trump is opting for a very different strategy than he was a year ago. A year ago in May for Eugene Carroll's trial, he didn't even turn up. He's seen those polls that you've been showing all week, Joe, which track. I mean, that graph that Steve Kornacki has showing that here you go. You look at the dates where he's arrested for a crime or where he goes into a courthouse or where the trial starts, and his approval ratings tick up. And he now thinks, look, the more I'm in court, the more I misbehave in court, the more I get attention in court, that's going to help me.
The mistake they're making is him acting out in court is going to, eventually hurt him, and it's just a small percentage. But let's face it, he's a fighter. We expect him to act out in court. He's keeping a very even keel in public, which is a good thing for him because they always go after him for, spouting off. And we like it, as MAGA people, you like it, but they use it against him. And I think he's being very wise to be more mellow when he's in the public. And hey, if he acts out in court, he's just acting out in the injustices. He knows he's going to get convicted, right? He knows it. And, it's only a matter of time. But that's why he's delaying the convictions, so it doesn't affect him in any way before it. But even if he gets convicted, I believe it's going to strengthen him because it has strengthened him in the past. All these convictions are growing the numbers for support for President Trump.
It might be helping. It might be a split thing, right? It might be that it helps him with the primary, but actually when it comes to people who are going to vote in the general election in November, all of what he did yesterday in court, drawing attention to the fact that he's in a court proceeding and has been found liable, maybe that actually will end up to hurt him and these people will stick to those numbers.
But if we keep looking at the numbers, the more they attack him, the more support he gets. So let him attack and act like fools and do the same thing that they did in the 2020 election.
Well, as the old song goes, Willie, second verse, same as first. There's a reason Republicans that actually have a brain
the Republicans have a brain. How condescending is that?
Have been worried about Donald Trump's impact on the general electorate since 2017.
Yeah.
Because they're like, okay, the things that he's doing right now, in this case, going into courtrooms, making an ass of himself.
Making an ass of himself, Joe? Really? Really?
Trying to get a judge to throw him out of the courtroom. That helps him with 14% of voters in Iowa.
I don't believe it helps him with 14%. The more they focus on the negative, the more they help him. So let's let him continue.
Right? It hurts him with independents. It hurts him with suburban voters. It hurts him with swing voters. There's a reason Donald Trump has done the unthinkable. Held on to a party while losing in 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023.
Of course, he had to repeat every year being totally obnoxious about President Trump losing. I see it that he's winning all the time and he's playing the press like a fiddle. Maybe I shouldn't be doing this commentary because if they're watching these videos, which I doubt they are, but if they are, I'm kind of helping them by letting them know how much they're messing up. But the good thing is they have TDS. What TDS is, if some of you don't know, it's Trump derangement syndrome. And it's basically President Trump living inside their head. They can't help themselves. They know it's hurting themselves, but they are just so emotional about their point of view, hating him, that they will continue to shoot themselves in the foot. I truly think it's a spiritual battle that they're going through right now. We're going through in this country and the world. I think we're good and evil right now is going at it with what you look at, everything that's going on in society. Let's listen to more.
That's because he plays to the cheap seats in his own party. They're absolutely thrilled when he's in court for raping a woman, according to the judge, and the judge is going to have to throw him out because he's being so disruptive. And like a toddler, we get reports from Lisa that he's banging his hands on the table. Maybe, we don't know, maybe it's magic marker, but if it's blood, maybe causing some more problems to his hands.
It's dysregulated.
But they want to say he's losing and they want to exaggerate it and they want to sit there and go all these different years. You know, it's just mocking. It's disgusting. We see through it. And the good thing is MSNBC's audience is, basically going down, down, down. And a number of people online are going up, 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 like Tucker Carlson, and having an effect on us that we can at least see rational thought instead of this crap.
And so for the 14%, and who knows, maybe 44, 45% in the general election. But once again, they're setting themselves up for a loss. I'm trying to help them here.
I'm trying to help him here? Really? We don't think any help is coming from the Morning Joe show, Mika and Joe. I'm trying to help him here. Total sarcasm. Obviously, his audience knows he's not trying to help him. Obviously, MAGA Republicans know he's not trying to help him. And obviously, he's not trying to help the Republicans. So he's just talking sarcasm through this whole thing.
Help Republicans, as I have for 7 years. They're setting themselves up for another loss because, as Caddy said, what works for the 14% hurts him, as we see in this poll, with almost 60% of Americans.
The good news is the more they keep attacking President Trump, the more popular he's going to get. There's been proof of it for the past year with all of these court cases, and they're going to continue to try to persecute him. That's why we have to pray for his physical safety through this process, because they're getting pretty darn desperate, and it's going to get worse before it gets better. As long as the election goes well, time will tell. Thank you for watching the video. Thank you for enduring these clips from Morning Joe. I don't watch the show. I just happened to stumble across it, and I had to respond. Just that they're still doing the same mistakes. Please subscribe, comment, and like this video. It helps us on the algorithms get more and more attention. We want to get the word out. That's sane. I like to think I'm sane. Hopefully you do. I kill myself. No, I'm not going to kill myself. But thank you for enduring this show, meaning the Morning Joe show. This is William Wieting reporting with commentary on a show that's so biased that they can't help themselves. But, they got TDS. What can you do about that? Thanks for watching, and God bless.